Hey, welcome back, guys. I am making another video for the month of, not the month, 2025 year here. And just wanted to share something else with you guys, a subject that was on my mind this morning and something I want to talk about. So, emergency fund, that's what we're talking about here. Just want to share my wisdom that I've gained over the years about what to do with emergency fund and how to save up for it and what it's used for or whatnot like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and I have some points that I jotted down and just want to go over them with you all. So let me get that going. Camera off. Okay, guys. So basically, as you all can see here, the main reason for an emergency fund, it provides a safety net just for you and between you and life. It's something good to have. It's good to have that extra money when life starts to hit. Life be lifing, right? So you want to make sure you have something, some kind of cushion to catch you in the midst of an emergency. In the midst of a inconvenient time or whatever, right? So it can cover things such as a job loss. You lose your job all of a sudden, bam, you fired one day. Oh, you don't know what to do. Oh, you can freak out if you don't have any kind of savings at all and you live in check to check. But if you had an emergency fund, hey, you got a little time to, take a break, cool down, transition, pretty easy from, that trauma of being fired or whatever, if you got fired or if you got laid off or if the company just so happened to downsize. So you'll have that cushion there. You can take care of that and go from there. You can breathe easier with an emergency fund. Of course, you still got to get back on the grind, finding a replacement job or finding some other means of making some income there, and everything. So, of course, I recommend one thing that me and my wife are doing. I always had that secondary side hustle. Those are QDTE, XDTE, RDTE, YMAG, and YMEX. Those particular ETFs, they're a good way to supplement some income there as well. So that's what we're doing. But anyway, also it'll cover medical emergencies. Something happens all of a sudden. You guys got to go to the emergency room. Hey, you got the money to take care of it. If some kind of hospital bill, they say, hey, they need to have $200 or $300 in order for them to do something today uh, on your wife or yourself or whatever or your children, anything, you have that money right there. Car repairs, it takes care of that. Car all of a sudden break down. That's one of the main ones that happens a lot. We in America, we have cars. We drive cars all the time, right? So if a car break down, hey, you want to be able to have that money available to get it fixed. Be able to put it in the shop, pay to get it fixed, and get it out. The worst thing that happen with that situation for you is you would just be inconvenienced if you have an emergency fund. So you have to just find a ride for a couple of days or whatever until they get that car fixed, get it repaired. So that takes care of that. Also, home maintenance. Anything, water heater might break. I've had that situation happen before. I think it was last year. I woke up one morning, from my sleep and walked out, in the dining room, and I mean not dining room, but the den or whatever. Walked out my bedroom, and I just heard water dripping. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was a pipe that burst or something, and so water just leaking from the upstairs, down all through the ceiling and everything on the floor. Like, man, what's really going on here? So went upstairs just find out water heater had burst, so I had to buy a brand new water heater, right, and get it put in and all that stuff. But me being me having YouTube, of course, I was able to put it in myself. I just needed some elbow grease and somebody to help me lift it. But either way it go, though, I had to buy the thing, but I had the emergency fund. So I was just able to tap into the emergency fund, go to Lowe's or whatever, and pick it up. Bam, transported, got it, bought it, brought it here, brought it home, boom, swapped it in, changed it out and everything. So, but that's what I mean. But had I not had an emergency fund, I would have had to deal with it not having my family not having hot water, us having to boil hot water or whatever just to take baths until we got the money to save up that we can buy the dang on thing. So, you know, emergency fund, safety net. So also it teaches you how to save. You want to, by you practicing saving money from every check that you get, then hey, it teaches you, develop that habit in you to save. So you definitely want that, and everything. Another ways, let's see here. Now, the way to save, speaking on that one, the way to save the emergency fund is you can include it. Make sure you include it as a category in your budget. As I showed you guys in the other video on setting up budgets. Basically, you want to make sure you always had an emergency fund in there, so therefore you allot some money from your check towards it. And also you can take any kind of extra money that you may have and apply it, to the emergency fund. So any kind of side hustle, some of that money you may be getting if you guys are doing the ETFs there that I mentioned. If you guys are doing those, you can take some of that money from those, send it to your bank account, and boom, apply it to the emergency fund. You can get that going, building it up. I mean, and you usually want to save, have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. That's just a good round number, a good goal to go towards. You want to make sure, so therefore if you lose that job, hey, automatically I'm taken care of for at least 3 months, 3 to 6 months. If I don't find a job within that time. Now, within that time, you better be finding a job or some kind of way to supplement or replace your income that you lost right from the job, because if not, hey, then you're gonna have another problem. But it does give you time though, by you having that 3 to 6 months of build up there. So you definitely want that. Now, one thing you can do, once you do hit that 3 to 6 month goal, you can take that extra money, and apply it to like debts. If you're owing any kind of debts, you can apply it to investments, or both. You can pay on some on debt and then some on investments. You have to invest for the future, because no one's going to take care of you in the future. Is responsible for taking care of you in the future but you. So you have to save right now while you got that time on your side. So while you got the power of time, you definitely want to do that. We'll go get back into the screen now and just preach a little bit. But yeah, basically, you definitely want to do that while you have the power of time in your hands, on your side. Save that money, invest it, become debt free if you can. That's the biggest part. If you can become debt free and live debt free, like the Dave Ramsey concept, if you do that, you'll have all that much more money to just apply to investments and just living life. That's something Boris Watkins recommends, that if you're gonna use debt, use it as a tool to grow. As far as like if you're using margin in the stock market, add that to your margin account. Borrow a certain amount of money to invest into a stock that that's going to go up in value, so it can capitalize on when it makes that payment, when everything, when you get that return, you can get more on your return, that way. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, just stay debt free and just use your money that way. So it's a lot of different ways to use it. Debt in itself is not bad. It's just you have to use it responsibly. It's not good, it's not bad. It's amoral. You have to just use it responsibly. So if you're gonna just consume and use that just to consume, you don't really need to use debt. But if you're gonna use debt to accumulate and help you, build wealth, that way through the stock market or whatever, you can do that. That's one thing he preaches about it. Elon Musk, he uses debt, but he uses debt to accumulate wealth. To buy different things, borrow money to build different things, and build buildings, hire more employees and stuff like that, so he can make more money for him. So if he's doing that, then that's how you can use it. That's one way to use debt, as a tool per se. But like I said, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. I recommend don't use any kind of debt if you don't feel comfortable, that way. So just make sure you take your time and know what you're doing with debt. Let's see here, what else I have. Oh, where to keep your emergency fund. One place to keep your emergency fund, you always want to keep it separate from your checking account. So if you have a checking account and a savings account, and both of them within the same, you can have within the same bank, you always want to take the money that you're putting towards your emergency fund and saving, you want to put that into your savings account and leave that there. And so therefore you can always have access to it if need be. You can get to it real quick, but at the same time, it's still separated from your original funds that you normally spend from, because you don't want to intermingle those funds, because you can get sidetracked if you're not keeping track of your emergency fund. So yeah, you definitely want to always have it separate in a separate separate savings account. It can even be a checking account, another checking account. That's fine, but you always want to be able to have it where you got access to it, that way. Now, one way we use our emergency fund is we'll charge on a credit card. We'll have an emergency fund in a separate savings account, but when we spend money and like when emergency come up, we just charge on the credit card. So therefore we can get those points. And then we'll take the money, whatever's owed on the credit card, we'll take that from our emergency fund, pay on it. Boom, you get the points that way. So therefore, you're using that credit card to get those points and accumulate those points for you. And then we take that money from the points and we apply it to either investments, personal money, funds ourselves, or more savings, whatever. We just decide what we want to do with it. So that's pretty much, I think, all I have to say. Let me make sure my notes. Yeah, yeah, that's it, y'all. So that's mainly what I wanted to share with you all. Definitely important. Get you an emergency fund, keep it. Make sure you keep adding to it. If you use it, make sure you fund it back. You have a process to fund it back. And the process is just save the extra money that you get from your check, save extra money you have from any kind of working a side job, a side hustle, or those ETFs I talked about. You can do that any kind of way you can. Just keep that thing stocked of 3 to 6 months of expenses. If you really want to go crazy, just get it out for a whole year. So therefore, it helps you. You can, if you ever be without a job or anything without funds, you can sit out a whole year and you'll know that your income, your expenses are taken care of. So that's all for right now, guys. I just want to share that with you. You all have a great day, and I hope this information is helpful for someone. Talk to you later.